guys, what's growing? It's Heather at Bush Poppy Farm. It is sunny today, finally. So I'm out in the garden taking advantage of these today and 2 more days of sun before we get 5 more days of intense rain. And like we talked earlier, I'm going to be planting some stuff. So I want to get all of my greens in the ground, and I have a couple spots I'm going to do that in. And I'm also going to harvest a couple things that just are kind of like languishing, and make room for more greens. Just going to pop them in everywhere. And then if we have some time, we'll head over to the farm and deliver some stuff over there. I think it's going to be Friday before I actually get to the farm to do a bunch of stuff, because I have a doctor's appointment tomorrow. My doctor does actually want me to see an oncologist, a breast surgeon. So even though my tests showed no sign of cancer, she's still concerned based on some other stuff. So I have to do that tomorrow. Not excited about that, actually pretty anxious about that. But I'm going to focus on the good stuff, and so today I'm going to do as much as I can here, and before I have to go get the kids. And then tomorrow I might be taking, because that's like in the middle of the day, it's going to be a couple of hours. I'm not sure what I'm going to do in the afternoon. It just depends on the weather. So it's cold. It's cold and windy, which is going to be a challenge for these seedlings. So I'm going to make sure I put hoops up and cover them with row cover, because last night it got down to 29 degrees Fahrenheit, so that's below freezing. And tonight it's going to do the same. And so they've been in a warm greenhouse. They'll be fine because they are cold tolerant, but it's the wind really that's going to do the most damage to them. And then overnight we're going to get frost. And so I want to protect them. So as you can see, this raised bed right here has tulips in it. These are ice crystals, tulips, but that side of the bed is completely empty, intentionally. So I am going to put a whole bunch of greens over there, and then I can install hoops and some row cover for them to keep them cozy and safe tonight. So what we've got going in this bed is this baby bok choy and a couple of heads of little gem lettuce, and then this mustard blend, which is really beautiful. I do have irrigation in here, although with all the rain, we're not really going to need it. So I'm just going to flatten this out a little bit and pop these guys in. Okay, so I got those seedlings in the ground, and I'll show you where those are, and then I'm going to sow some new peas around the pea trellis and put some either frost cloth. They don't really need the frost cloth. Mostly I'm trying to exclude birds, so probably some bird netting if I have some. Otherwise, there's a blue jay right there. Otherwise, I'll figure out something else. But so I put the bok choy and the mustard blend and those couple of romaine in the bed next to the tulips. So they're under that cover now. That will keep them from getting sunburned. It will keep them a little bit warmer, and it will keep them from getting windburn as well. And for the other seedlings, I pulled up the cabbage that had bolted because I hadn't harvested in time. Also, it was just eaten up by too many bugs. And I planted Paris Island romaine and Swiss chard. These are going to get covered now because they're going to get sunburned. So I'm only going to cover this portion of the bed. The rest of it will stay open. These flowers have been covered for like a week because of the heavy rains, and I want them to get some actual sunshine, not filtered sunshine. But I don't want these guys to get sunburned. So I'm just going to pull the cover over this end, and then this evening I'll come out and cover the beds completely because it's going to go down below freezing again tonight, and I don't want these new seedlings to freeze. Okie dokie, more peas planted, and this is the bird netting that I have. It's absolutely huge. It's not going to stay on here for very long, just long enough for the peas to get big enough that they can start climbing, and that if any birds attack them, it won't completely decimate them. So what I still need to do is I need to tack down. You see how I've used staples here to stretch it taut and tack it down. That is to prevent any birds from getting stuck in it and having it be all loose and weepy and then have them get stuck and die. I definitely don't want that to happen. So now I need to do that to the other side. As I've been out here working, of course, I have seen lots and lots of weeds. You know, just because it's winter time and it's been really cold, below freezing oftentimes doesn't mean the weeds stop growing. So I immediately went to go get my hoe, but apparently it's out at the farm. So I need to get that, bring it back here, and I want to attack these weeds. Some of them, like this guy right here, they send up these stalks that then have these seed pods on them that literally send the seeds flying, like shooting, like 4 to 5 feet away. So they really propagate themselves very, very easily. So it's important to get those up before they can do that. And I'm sure I've missed the boat on a few, but that's fine. I'll just come in here with my hoe, grab as many as I can out. And you know, that's the kind of thing, you're going to be fighting weeds all the time, but if you can keep on top of it, then it doesn't become such a huge job. And you can see the flowers are doing okay. They're not growing a whole lot, but like I said, it's been super cold. That is Ammomagus. This is Orlea. Some of the stalks got damaged, but I think it's still gonna, once it gets warmer, it'll be fine. This is, I believe, all Daucus. Chocolate lace flower. It looks beautiful, doesn't it? Nice and green. And then through here we have a little bit more Daucus, and then Phacelia mixed in with Strawflower, which is definitely struggling. The Strawflower, lots of frost damage, even though these guys are usually frost hardy. I just think it's been a little too much for them this year. So I'll still get stems, but probably not as many as I had wanted. But such is life. And then over here, the Feverfew looking great. That, even though this is a very small stand, it's going to give me tons of stems. And then this is Starflower. It's a type of Scabiosa. Most of the status got eaten by birds, but some of it is still there. And once it starts producing, it'll just be pumping them out. These are ranunculus that apparently got left in the ground corms I didn't find last year. This is a weed right next to that status. These weeds, the taproots are really deep. Okay, and then over here is snapdragons, and they're starting to get tall, so that's great. I'm definitely getting a little bit anxious because that's not nearly as many flowers as I usually have for spring. I mean, on the flip side, the stretch of snapdragons there is about usually the size of what my ranunculus is, and as you can see at the farm, we have like quadruple that amount. So, you know, it's gonna be fine, but that October surprise of potentially losing the farm to the sale really definitely set me back. So I do have flowers, and I will have flowers, but not anywhere near what I would normally have for spring, even out of my small front space. So that's a bummer. It's gonna be okay. I can still fulfill all my orders, but it's not ideal. So the good news is I have all that extra space at the farm in the north field that's gonna start my first round of summer succession, of plants. And then as the stuff fades off in the hoop house, all of that will get replaced with the second succession of summer. So there'll be plenty of flowers to get us through the year. And, you know, I can use some of the front if I don't want to fill it all up with vegetables, but I am totally looking forward to having almost an entire row of just tomatoes and cucumbers and zucchini and all that other stuff. So, yeah, I'm going to try to keep my original plan, which was that the flower farm would be out at the farm, and here would just be food for the family. So, all right, I need to go. I have to go get my kids at school, and I have a bunch of computer work to do this afternoon, which is kind of a bummer because it is really beautiful outside, hardly any clouds. But tomorrow will be the same. So thanks so much for hanging out with me today. I hope you have a wonderful time in your garden, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.